Now let us derive the famous Maes relation for an ideal gas. So let us first summarize the main equations as far as an ideal gas system is concerned. So let's say that for an ideal gas, first relation is that it will be always holding the equation of state PV equal to nRT. So let me call this equation as equation number 1. And from the discussion of adiabatic free expansion of an ideal gas, we have concluded that the internal energy is independent of the pressure and the temperature, pressure and volume, if temperature is remaining constant. And we wrote it as dou U with respect to dou V, change of internal energy with respect to the volume at constant temperature. We have seen that this quantity is equal to 0. This is my second result. One more result we have seen, the internal energy for an ideal gas is independent of the pressure of the system as well. So we write dou U with respect to dou P, that too at T equal to constant, that is equal to 0. So that is my third equation. Or the meaning of 2 and 3 is that for an ideal gas system, internal energy is depending only on temperature, or U is a function of temperature alone, or I can say it is a function of F of T alone. So let me call this as some equation number 4 for the time being. So these are the equation number 1 to 4 denote the relationships which is true for any ideal gas system. Now let us use this relationship to arrive at a connection between the two types of specific heat capacities defined for an ideal gas system, namely the Cp and Cv. So let's begin with the first law of thermodynamics. From first law of thermodynamics, we state it as du equal to what is the way, d bar q plus d bar w. That was our idea, and I can write d bar w for a hydrostatic system. It is nothing but p dv minus p dv, and from this equation I can rewrite this one in terms of d bar q equal to, therefore d bar q equal to, I can say it is du plus p dv. So let me say this is my fifth equation. Usually we will be using this form of the equation. You note the change in the sign, it is dq, d bar q equal to du plus p dv. Now heat capacity at constant volume, we have Cv, capital Cv. It is a heat capacity at constant volume. What is the definition of Cv? We relate it as dou U. Differentially, it is related to the internal energy as dou U with respect to dou T. Is not dou U by dou T. Be very, very careful about all these derivatives. Don't get confused at constant volume. See, look at the expression for Cv, equation number 6, we call it. Look at the expression for Cv and equation number 2. It looks very similar, but see that the variables are interchanged. Okay, equation number 2 tells dou U by dou V at T. And equation number 6 is right side dou U by dou T at V. You know the meaning difference. Dou U by dou V means how the internal energy changes with the change in volume, keeping temperature a constant. What is the right side of equation number 6 says how the internal energy of a system changes with the change in temperature, keeping volume a constant. So that is to be taken very care of. Okay, so be very careful about all these things. It should not get interchanged. Have the physical meaning also. While defining heat capacity, we are interested in how the internal energy of the system changes with the change in temperature, means on heating. Okay, so temperature will be the variable in the denominator. Now let's rewrite this equation CV for the case of an ideal gas. So the expressions for CV we have written in equation number 6 is true for any system. It need not be ideal. So let us rewrite the case for an ideal gas system. For an ideal gas, you know, U is actually independent of the volume, is it not? For an ideal gas, U is a function of temperature alone. That is from equation number 4, already we have discussed. Means it is not depending on the volume. It is not depending on the volume. So I need not write equation number 6 as dou U by dou T at constant volume. Whether constant volume or the volume is changing, you know, for an ideal gas, it will not be affecting dou U by dou T. So I need not mention this at constant V. So instead of writing dou U by dou T, I can replace that equation by the total derivative of U with respect to T. Okay, so I can write CV for an ideal gas. Let me write it here better. Therefore CV for an ideal gas. Remember, we have made the modification for an ideal gas system, which is our discussion topic here. CV for an ideal gas can be written as simply du by dt. Du by dt. I need not use the partial derivative. Okay, because U depends only on the temperature. So why should I take the partial derivative? That's the thing. So this is the thing. So we call it as equation number 7. Only, you know, you can avoid these equations. Therefore, can you write du for an ideal gas in terms of the CV? Du is equal to CV dt. I'm just cross multiplying and I'm getting it. So du equal to CV dt. We call that equation number 8. Some number of equations. All these equations are familiar to you now by the time. Now you got du here. So can't you now just change equation number 5? So therefore, what will be the first law of thermodynamics? Equation number 5 will be modified as, equation number 5 becomes d bar q equal to, instead of du I will use CV dt plus pdv, right? Plus pdv, that is the thing, plus pdv. So let me say this is my next equation, call it equation number 9. Now let me do a modification. You have got equation number 1. Okay, equation number 1 is there. So from equation number 1, or taking differentials, okay, from 1, what is equation number 1? That is equation of state. You take differentials on both sides. So what will be the differential? PV, both P and V are variables. So it will be P dV. I am taking differentials. It can be understood from the result, what I am writing now. P dV plus V dP. Okay. Differential of UV. That is what I am using. Okay. So U dV plus V du. That is the thing. Equal to, on the right side, N is a constant. R is also a constant. So on the right side you will get nR dt. That's what you are going to get. So what will be pdv then? What will be pdv from this expression? So pdv will be equal to, therefore it will be equal to nR dt. I am taking the term to the other side, nR dt minus vdp. Okay. So we call for the time being this as equation number 10 or something. Okay, equation number 10. Now if you substitute equation number 10 in equation 9, because it is PdV is here. So what will be equation number 9 becoming now? We are slowly modifying the first law of thermodynamics step by step. d bar q is equal to, first step is Cv, first term is Cv dt. Then instead of PdV I am substituting plus nr dt minus VdP. So what can be done? Can you take dt term is common in the first two terms? So I am taking it as common, so which is further equal to Cv, right? Can I write like this? Cv plus nr, and you get a smell of our final expression here. Cv plus nr times dt minus VdP. Okay, that's what I'm going to get. So let me say, for the sake of naming, let me call it some equation number 11. Now let's do one thing. I can divide both sides by dt. Dividing by dt both sides. Dividing by dt. You need not write, but I am just doing it. So what is on the left side becoming? d bar q by dt. d bar q by dt. So what do we think? The dt on the right side with along with the first term will be getting cancelled. So what is left with is Cv plus nr. Cv plus nr is left with minus V times dp by dt. V times dp by dt will be called as equation number 12. Now I think you can just tell me what we have to do. Our aim is to get a relation between Cv and Cp. And what was Cp for us? Cp was d bar q by dt at constant pressure. So let's take the condition, it's isobaric. At constant pressure, at P equal to constant, so what will happen to equation number 12? Constant. What is equation number 12 becoming? You know, dp will be equal to 0, right? dp equal to 0. So automatically the second term in equation 12 will be 0. And what about then d bar q by dt on the LHS becoming? d bar q by dt at constant pressure is nothing but the Cp. That was our definition of Cp. d bar q by dt at P is nothing but Cp. So I can say 12 becomes, what is 12 becoming? 12 gives you, let me write it here so that I can complete it here if possible. 12 becomes Cp is equal to, right side is Cv plus nr. Third term is 0 for sure, right? Or can't you rearrange it in the way in which you know? What is that? That is Cp minus Cv is equal to nr. Right? This is one way of writing the relationship between specific heat capacities for an ideal gas. Remember, this equation holds good for an ideal gas. Okay, because we started with the equations applicable only for ideal gas systems. Don't use it for a real gas system. That is something very, very important. Okay, so let me say that this is my 13th equation. Now, you know, usually we are interested in specific quantities. So heat capacity then becomes specific heat capacity. I told you there are two ways specific heat capacity is used. One is specific heat capacity at a constant, per unit mass, and other one is specific heat capacity per mole. It's not molar specific capacity. So one is C per capital C per mass or per kilogram, maybe unit mass, and other one is C per mole, specific capacity per mole. So how do you get specific capacity per mole? You take this n to the other side, left side. So what will be the thing becoming? Capital Cp by n. that is nothing but heat capacity per mole. So it becomes small c p minus, see that you clearly distinguish this one, small cp minus cv by n, that is small cv, cp minus cv. So on the right side only r is left with. Or you can just put n equal to 1, that is also same, n equal to 1. When number of mole equal to 1, heat capacity becomes specific heat capacity, that also you can say. And this is my equation number 14, and this equation number 14 is the famous Mayer's relation between Cp and Cv for an ideal gas. Remember, this equation number 14 is the usual expression for the Mayer's relation. It relates the molar specific heat at constant pressure with the constant volume for an ideal gas system. I repeat it. Note that this relation holds good only for an ideal gas system. Means you should not use this one at wrong context for real or van der Waals gases. Okay. Now that was our aim of the derivation or the topic. But see, in the earlier one of the videos, we have already justified why Cp is greater than Cv. The reason, hope you remember, it was due to the fact that when heat is supplied to a gas at constant pressure, the gas will undergo expansion so that the pressure is kept constant. In order to maintain the pressure constant, the gas will be, or gas must undergo an expansion. Hence, Cp includes an additional amount of work for the expansion of the gas. Whereas, in the case of Cv, there is no any spending of heat for the additional work done, because in the case of Cv, the change in volume dV is equal to 0. So there is no work done. The entire heat energy that is absorbed by a particular system, in this case, will be used to increase its internal energy and thereby increasing the temperature. Hence, Cp is always greater than Cv for the system. And that is about the topic for today. And let me just take one more equation. I think that will be helpful for us later. So let me refer to that equation. Let me use a different color. Okay. So what I'm going to do is that you have got this equation d bar q, right? And let me take which equation can be used. Yes, equation number 10 you have, right? So I'm underlining this equation number 10. This is equation. So let me modify this equation in another way. So what is equation number 10? That is P dV equal to nR dt minus V dP. Let me do another thing. Just 1 minute. Yeah, here I can use. Right. So let me use equation number 11, not 10, equation number 11 let me use. Yes. See, what is the left side of equation number 11? So 11 gives, equation number 11 gives, right, d bar q is not, d bar q was on the left side, d bar q is equal to, on right side you have got Cv plus nR. And what is Cv plus nR from this equation? Cv plus nR is equal to Cp. So can I rewrite this one as what? Cp. So Cp, capital Cp of course. So this is what I am rewriting. This is taken as Cp. So d bar q is now equal to Cp dt. Cp dt. dt is here, right? Minus V dP. Minus V dP. So let me preserve this equation for my use later. See, this will be an equation which is of use for us later. In this topic, there is nothing to do with this equation, but I strongly recommend you to see this equation or compare this equation with just equation number 9. See, can you just compare for a moment the similarity of these two equations? Just compare it. What is equation number 9 telling you? D bar q equal to cv dt plus p dv. That is one equation. That is nothing but the first law of thermodynamics expressed in terms of cv. 9 is d bar q equal to cv dt plus p dv. And what is 15? D bar q equal to cp dt. Instead of cv dt, it is now cp dt. And what is the difference in the second term, you note? That is, instead of plus p dv, now it becomes minus v dp. P dv has become minus v dp. So these are nothing but the first different forms of the first law of thermodynamics for an ideal gas expressed in terms of Cp and Cv. So we'll use it later. Anyway, see that you memorize or you try to recall how these equations are derived. Don't get confused. You need to repeatedly write or practice all these differentials. Thermodynamics becomes easy for you mathematically, provided you understand the physical meaning along with the simple technique of taking either total derivative or the partial derivative. Okay, thank you.